Okay, so we are going to start solving one-step equations. So remember, an equation is different because it will have an equal sign. So now we're going to finally figure out what the variable is. So in order to solve an equation, we must isolate the variable, which means that you're getting it by itself. And we also have to keep each side of the equation balanced. Like a scale that you would use in science, you want to keep each side balanced on the equal sign. So we can use inverse operations to move terms from one side to the other. And if you remember, inverse operations are thought of as opposites or undoing operations. So when you think of inverse operations, the opposite of addition would be subtraction. So then the opposite of subtraction would be addition. The opposite of multiplication is division. And then the opposite of division is to multiply. Whoops. Okay, so when you go to solve an equation, you think of what operation is taking place with the variable, and then you do the opposite. Now, these are going to be so simple, and I don't want you to do them mentally, because I know you can look at this and you know it's 4. You know this is 4. Okay, this one might take a little bit of work, but then you realize it's 22. But I want you to force yourself to do the steps I show you. Otherwise, it's going to be hard when they get harder. So I'm going to draw a line here. We call it like drawing a river through both sides of the equation. You do not have to do that. It really helps for people that don't write very neatly or just have problems with organization. So, and then you find the variable, and some people even go ahead and circle that. I didn't mean to cover the X. So we think to ourselves, okay, the X is being multiplied by 4. So to reverse that, the opposite is we're going to divide by 4. And whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. And remember, that line means to divide. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So that's how we get the X isolated. And then 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, the next one. So we see that 9 is being added to X. So the opposite is to minus 9. And whatever we do to one side, we got to do to the other to keep it balanced. And so now we have X, because those cancel out. 9 plus 9 minus 9 is canceled out. And then we have 13 minus 9, which is 4. Okay, on this one, we have X is being subtracted by 8. So we need to add 8 to cancel that out and do it to the other side. And we have X equals 22. Remember, always slow down or rewind it if it doesn't make sense. Okay, so on this one, what's happening to the X? It's being divided by 5. So the opposite is 2 times by 5. And I'm showing times like this. Okay, and then those cancel out, because really you could put a 1 under here, and so then the 5s cancel out, if you want to think of it that way. So we have X equals 65. Okay, X is being subtracted by 6, so we're going to add 6 to both sides. And we get X equals 17. Okay, on this one, when they're right next to each other, that means to multiply. So X is being multiplied by 2, so we're going to divide by 2. So X equals 44. Pretty simple. Again, I don't want you to try to do it mentally. I want you to think of what process or what operation is happening and then do the opposite. So go ahead and try these first if you want, and then look for my answers, or you can do them with me. Okay, so the blank up here is just rational numbers. That means we can also have like decimals and fractions, and the answers don't always come out perfect whole numbers. So we have it's being divided, or it's being multiplied by 6, so we're going to divide by 6. And X equals 2.6 repeating. You could have 2 2/3, however you want to represent it. It's all the same. Okay, x is being added by 2.5, so we're going to minus by 2.5. And so we get x equals 5. Okay, on this one, what is happening to the x? It is being multiplied, because it's right next to it, by 2/3. So we're going to divide by 2/3. And it helps if you write it so you put the right thing in the calculator first. So 8 divided by 2/3 is 12. Okay, I would like you to try the next 3 and then show me when you get done.